My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am a poet that teaches with Snow City Arts. Thank you for inviting Snow City Arts into your room. Today, we will work together to compose a short poem. You'll be able to do it even if you have never written a poem before. In this video, I'm going to show you how to compose a poem using animal imagery to create a description or an explanation of an emotion. I will also show you how to transform sentences into lines of poetry. You don't need to have any experience with poetry whatsoever in order to be able to write this poem. All you need is any piece of paper and a writing utensil, and if you need to have somebody else write down your ideas for you, that is totally fine. Pause this video at any time to give yourself time to think up your ideas and to get them down on paper. All right, let's get started. In this exercise, you will compose a 5-stanza poem, each stanza containing 2 to 4 lines. A stanza is any group of lines in a poem. Each stanza will consist of your answers to 4 simple questions. My daughter is here to help show you how this will work. Your poem will begin as a list of answers to these questions, and then you will form those answers into a simple sentence. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started. So first, you'll write down the name of a feeling or emotion, any feeling or emotion that someone might have. And please follow along. Grab your pen and your piece of paper or have someone write down your ideas for you. You have it?
Yep.
Okay. Next, imagine that somehow that feeling or emotion can magically transform into an animal. What animal does that feeling become? Now, what color is that animal? You can stick with real-life colors, or you can be more fanciful, like a pink zebra or a rainbow-colored tortoise. You have your color?
Yep.
Perfect. Now, finally, what is this animal doing? Try not to give the animal any human behavior. For example, if your emotion was sadness, don't describe the animal as crying. How would that particular animal show sadness? Imagine looking at what the animal is doing and being able to say that animal shows sadness. All right, would you read your list?
The emotion is disappointment. The animal is a gray rat, and it is scrounging a barren landscape for food.
Perfect. That's fantastic. So you would write that in a sentence. Disappointment is a gray rat scrounging a barren landscape for food. Now it's your turn. You're going to repeat the same instruction 4 times. So you have 5 instances of emotions that have transformed into a specifically colored animal that is doing something to show that emotion. Would you read so they can hear again?
Disappointment is a gray rat scrounging a barren landscape for food.
Fantastic. Using 2 of the sentences, let's walk through how we can break these sentences into shorter lines, creating lines of poetry. So first off, I'm just going to separate the emotion and the animal from the behavior that's being described, creating 2 two-line stanzas, which are called couplets, and I'm parsing out the information by just choosing 2 pieces of information to put on each line. And that's a totally legitimate way to break up lines of poetry. Now I can show how to break lines of poetry into sections that help highlight certain sounds by isolating them on the ends of lines and within lines. So I'm just making some choices here, thinking about what certain words sound like. And so I have disappointment is a gray rat scrounging a barren landscape for food. And putting those T sounds at the end helps highlight those. Scrounging a barren, I like those R sounds together. And for food, highlighting those F sounds, that alliteration. And then sadness is a blue elephant drinking alone from a muddy watering hole. What I notice is alone and whole, putting those at the ends of lines helps highlight those O sounds. And then I end up with one 4-line stanza and one 3-line stanza. There are many different ways to create lines of poetry, and I just showed you 2 of those ways.
So we have glumness is a ghost white tortoise who's stuck on its back. Glee is a pink hen brooding on its eggs. And excitement is a yellow squirrel that found a nut tree.
Fantastic. So what do you want to title your poem? What do you think this poem is about?
I know that it's about emotions.
Do you think that word should be in the title?
Yeah.
And what other thing occurs often in that poem?
Animals and their behaviors.
Mm-hmm. So animals, behaviors, and emotions. Think of those 3 words and come up with the title.
Emotional animals.
Perfect. In your poem, you've used animal imagery to describe emotions through metaphor. And if you think about it, every day we use images to communicate emotions through our facial expressions. But has anyone ever looked at your face and asked you if you were feeling a certain way when you were not experiencing that feeling? Maybe you were thinking about something and had a very serious look on your face, and a parent looked at you and said, "Are you angry or are you bored?" Think about those times when someone mistook your expression for a feeling that you were not experiencing. And now consider the fact that, like different languages, different cultures and societies have different ways to express and to understand certain emotions. For example, one culture might find one emotion positive, while another culture views that same emotion negatively. Sometimes this can lead to misunderstandings between people from different cultures and traditions. There are also different ideas about emotion depending on your gender. Unwritten rules about who can feel a certain way or express emotion. Think of the old phrase, "boys don't cry." And think of how a woman who isn't smiling may be asked if she is angry or sad. Has that ever happened to you? So while emotions are universally felt, everybody feels emotion across the world, they are differently understood and differently communicated in different cultures and in different traditions. You can follow the link below to explore this idea about culture and emotion. Thank you for working with me today. I hope you will choose to work with Snow City Arts again soon.